welcome to another episode of Margin Called, the only channel on YouTube dedicated to controlling your losses in the stock market. In today's video, I was a little bit chopped up in the morning session. Price action wasn't very good, but I did find an opportunity later in the afternoon. If I'd actually held on to that, I could have made a lot more money, but I did end up making just shy of about $130 today. Put that there for you to see. But I'll just share a screenshot from my trading journal. I had two trades in the morning, one at 10:15, the other at 10:38. I was really trying to find price begin to bounce off of support at VWAP on a 5-minute time frame. It wasn't really doing that at that point in time. I waited a little bit longer to see if the market would give me any sort of better signals, and sure enough, right around 12:35, I did identify an opportunity where, again, if I had held this into later in the afternoon, I could have made a lot more money. But because price action, again, started to get a little bit choppy, a little bit funky, I didn't really fully understand what was going on. So I just decided to close the trade and take in profits while I could. Something I'm definitely guilty of not doing often enough. Now, if you remember from my previous video, I was talking about SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, basically, on a 5-minute time frame, and how we basically, on Friday, printed this descending triple top pattern. Price eventually went down to the 200 EMA on this zone, so I was anticipating to a large extent some type of a bounce or some type of a reaction to this zone at least. What really caught my attention was right around the market open, maybe a little bit closer to 10 o'clock. It looked like the market was beginning to put in this higher low, and we do see the moving averages, these other ones that are on here that are not the 200 EMA. They include the 21, the 50, and the 100. We had gone back up into those moving averages. Those moving averages basically acted as a cradle for price. So I was really looking for maybe an opportunity for a test of the highs that we had basically established the week prior. So I'll show you my scalping chart. And as you can see here, I've got, let me see if I can just get this right. We have the 3-minute time frame over here for the SPY, and we've got the 5-minute on the right-hand side. I like to use VWAP and the 9 EMA on both of these charts, just because it helps me establish basically a zone of support, intraday support at least, and the 9 EMA helps me to identify just what the overall trend looks like it's going to be. What really caught my attention again was the fact that price had come up, even though it had got rejected at VWAP. The 9 EMA was acting as support. Price was being cradled in this zone. So this was really the point in time at which I identified a pretty good opportunity to get into calls, what I thought was a good opportunity. And I had basically anticipated that this would just be establishing another higher low in that sequence of events. Unfortunately, we didn't get the strong break that I was really hoping for. I basically just decided to take a small loss and close that position while I could. I repeated the process again. I think it was right around here at 10:38, 10:40, where we were basically doing another test of VWAP. And while it looked like I was sitting pretty at that point, I did see this little bit of a flush to the downside here. And when VWAP is just getting tested over and over again, I just decided to get out of the trade. I took, looks like it was about $10 or so, a loss on that one. So if we look into the later part of the day, of course, I missed this entire move to the upside. I'm not quite sure how much I would have made on that if I had just decided to hold. But nonetheless, I did see this as an opportunity. And again, it coincides with both the 3-minute and the 5-minute time frame. But price fell through right around lunchtime or so. But VWAP acted as support in this uptrend. So this was the point at which I decided to get in on calls. I was basically using VWAP at this point as a, I guess you could use it as like a stop loss almost. But I did manage to hold into here on this move. I wanted to avoid this just because once we began to stall up here, I was kind of worried that we were going to establish some sort of a wedge pattern that would kind of like consolidate for that for the remainder of the afternoon. But sure enough, if you did get into calls here and if you had just held, that would have been a very nice move that you could have gotten a hold of. So that's basically it in terms of the trade that I found and that I was able to identify today. Admittedly, especially if we look at the alligator on the 10-minute time frame, this thing is beginning to fall asleep, so to speak. So even though we're still kind of in that general uptrend, this is not really as strong as I would like to see it. So I can't help but wonder if maybe there's going to be either a change in direction or if price is just going to continue to stagnate and consolidate and basically remain range bound where I will probably lose more money than God. But yeah, that's basically it. In terms of what I was able to identify in the market today, I don't really have any sort of strong opinions on where this market could end up, especially for like the end of the week. Something I should mention, though, is just the fact that we are approaching monthly options expiration on Friday. So I can't help but wonder if that's going to cause some additional volatility in the markets, if weak hands are going to get shaken out or anything of that nature, I guess I should say. But yeah, like I said, that's basically it for this video. I will be out on business tomorrow, so I unfortunately won't be able to place any trades. I won't be able to update the channel at all. But if you do find this content educational, insightful, useful, please feel free to like and share the video, and of course subscribe and hit the notification bell for additional uploads. But yeah, other than that, whatever you do, don't get margin called.